Hey, what's going on, everybody? MysterySchooler here. Got another presentation for you today. Today we are covering electric zodiac, or to be more precise, the electromagnetic zodiac. Thanks for being here, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, I just got done watching Max Vision. Make sure you guys check out his channel, Max Vision Remote Viewing. Yeah, today you guys are going to get to see a little bit about what my username's about. I get a lot of questions about it. I tell people it's from the Emerald Tablets, but they don't usually go to find it, so I brought it here for you guys. Yeah, without any more, we'll just jump right into it. Thanks for being here, everybody. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, that one's called Dude, Where's My Horse? I like that one. Yo, Maida, I gave you mod, bro. If you want to drop a link or anything, go ahead. Welcome. Got a hell of a presentation today, the electromagnetic zodiac. Now, this is a more science heavy, but you know me. There's going to be lots of mysticism, things like that as well. Now, that's our first slide, guys. This is an important one. Now, this is the electromagnetic spectrum. You can see on the left, it starts with radio waves. So we're talking sound. It moves to microwave, infrared, and then we hit the visible spectrum. And you can see what a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum is, the visible spectrum. So look how much of reality exists around us, guys, that is completely beyond our senses. So, when we assume reality is what we see around us or hear around us, well, isn't that a little ignorant? Look how much exists around you. It's invisible all the time. And I think when I read this Bible verse in Revelation, I always think this. I am the Alpha and the Omega, so the beginning and the end, right? Well, do you see all the way from what we can detect from radio to gamma ray, it's really the same energy. It's just the rate it's being induced or inducted. And it's really just one, isn't it? And when I see this, I think, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. See? All the way from radio, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma ray, it's all the same. It's just more intense or less intense based on perspective. Yeah, check it out, guys. So, ghosts and gods and demons, spirits, entities, whatever you want to call them, right? In whatever tongue. Look at all this range of existence they have to be present in, that they can exist in, that's beyond our senses. So how can we say this doesn't exist or this doesn't exist or this doesn't exist because we can't see it and we can't hear it, when this little portion of the electromagnetic spectrum is even visible? Give me a break, right? All right, guys, we got Chrissy in the house. Welcome. God is energy, frequency, and vibration. Hey, just at the store. Oh, cool. Yeah, frequency and vibration too, 100%. That's cool. We appreciate you, Chrissy. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Got Maida in the house. Welcome. We appreciate you for being here, brother. Doing some mom stuff. That's cool. We appreciate you. Yeah, this is going to be a trip. This is going to be a really science-heavy one, but we're also going to get into a lot of spiritual stuff, You know how I do. Yeah, so alpha and omega, the microwave all the way to gamma, the beginning and the end. It's the same energy, the first and the last. It seems pretty consistent to me. So now that you understand a bit more about the visible spectrum, if you guys have seen the movie They Live, dude puts on his sunglasses, and everyday people he's surrounded by, some of them look like, demons or whatever you want to call them, undead even. And all the merchandising stuff and billboards, advertisements all around him just say obey, buy, comply, indulge. It takes off the glasses, everything's back to normal. So what you're seeing in that movie, guys, is the sunglasses in that movie, They Live, alter the user's vision beyond the typical visible spectrum, revealing the terrifying truth surrounding him. There's a lot of truth in that movie. Actually, I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it all the way through, but I've heard enough people talk about it where I basically have seen it. Yeah, and this is why it's Meta cuts on a good point here. I agree. I could feel that there's more. You know, I don't need anyone to even tell me. Like, I can feel there's things I cannot see around me. I cannot feel around me. Yeah, it's intangible, right? It could still very much exist. Well, tell me, what does electricity not exist because you can't see it until it's exposed or whatever, right? Hell yeah, it exists. Right? Wow, Scott, I'm really proud of you, man. That's a really smart comment. You know, one of our earliest mystery chats was actually on cymatics, and yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, spoken Hebrew is phonetically written to have a cymatic effect bearing the meaning of the word. For example, speaking the word heal will have a cymatic effect of healing. Their language is actually written around it. It's very interesting. And sometimes I wonder if that's why gematria, ancient Hebrew gematria, is so accurate. Because there's gematria you could do for like any language, I think, but the ancient Hebrew one is the one that's usually pretty accurate. When you know, a lot of coincidence there. Thanks for being here, Scott. Appreciate you, man. All right, we got Max Vision in the house. Welcome, buddy. Yeah, look, even the wind, right? You can't see that. You sure as heck there, isn't it? It'll ruin a barbecue real quick. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. Yeah, great show, Max. Make sure you all check out Max Vision remote viewing class hosted by John. Great stuff. And his co-host, the cat Max. I'm going to go back one slide because nobody was here when I was showing it. Yeah, we got here the electromagnetic spectrum. And you can see all the way from the left to the right. Got microwave, infrared. Look how wide that range is. It's still invisible to us. Then you got the visible spectrum in the middle. Look at that tiny little range there, guys. All of your senses, all of your perception, all of it is that little existence on this range. And yet, we're arrogant enough, some of us, to say, oh, I don't see it, so it ain't there. I can't hear it, so it ain't there. I don't feel nothing, it ain't there. Dude, your senses are very limited. That's just such a monstrously ignorant way to think, right? So that's why I say, you know, I've never seen a ghost, but I'm not going to instantly call everybody who says they've seen a ghost or experienced spiritual stuff a quack, because, I mean, that would just be scientifically ignorant, wouldn't it? Yeah, here we got Revelation 22:13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So, guys, this is all really like the same energy. It's just how intense it is. It's just how intense it is. And how intense it is based on perspective, just like darkness and light is based on perspective. It's through your body or whatever. So what's intense for me and you might not be intense for someone else, right? I'm sure the Hulk could hang out in gamma ray over there just fine, right? I don't think we could. I mean, radiation's below me, but you know what I mean. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm excited. Woo! Electric Zodiac. Yeah, and this is what led us to the next slide I was just talking about, which is the movie They Live. Like, you know, he looks through his glasses, and all of a sudden his reality around him is different. All the advertisements and merchandising, it says buy, consume, feed, all in big black and white letters. And some people around him even look different. They look demonic or undead even. A lot of them are executives, really high up people, office kind of people, you know, CEOs and things like that, looking kind of people. So yeah, a lot of people have seen this movie, they probably never picked up, but the sunglasses in the movie They Live alter the user's vision beyond the typical visible spectrum, revealing the terrifying truth surrounding him. And I think that it could be possible to make some kind of spectacles that could adjust your vision to see spirits or entities. I think that is like could possibly be a technology that's out there suppressed or even has existed in ancient times or something. Because I'm a firm believer in that they show us the truth in fiction. So, you know, I know obviously that's debatable, but that's just my opinion, that they're like forbidden to tell us the truth. So to avoid karma of lying, they tell us the truth through fiction. It's like a catch-22, you know? Because I think the elites are aware of the karmic wheel. And they try to take steps to prevent it. Like, hey, we told them, right? Hey, we told them the truth. What? They don't want to listen. All right, we got Caucasian Sasquatch in the house. He's eating. Give him a minute. All right, welcome, brother. Will do, man. What you eating, man? Scott Level Rem says, I finally watched that recently. Pretty entertaining. You know, I've never actually seen it, brother. I don't want to lie to you guys, but I've never actually seen it. But I've seen enough. I've seen bits and pieces enough of it. It's been covered so many times on so many channels I watch. I feel like I've seen it, so I should probably give it a watch all the way through. But yeah, that's the premise of it. I thought that was interesting. Like, could there be technology that can make something like this real? You know, where you could see the entities that are around you more easily. Was the anatomy of our distant ancestors different so they could see these things? Is that why they wrote about seeing things so much, like spiritual things, that we don't? These are the questions. These are the questions. Welcome, everybody. You can imagine the spectrum of invisible light going out from the rainbow. Yeah, it just keeps going, right? It's like we see the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, but it keeps going beyond that. I'm sure. Interesting stuff. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, and this is just, elaborating a little bit more on what I was saying. Is the rainbow is really always all around you. It's just when there's water or moisture in the air or a lens for it to be refracted through, then it's visible to you. But really, it's always around you. And this really reminds me of a CD, which is quartz, which is the most common mineral on the planet. And I was just saying here, I wrote this little passage here. I said, determining reality from the limited range of your senses is scientifically ignorant, as the visible range of the electromagnetic spectrum is very small. So, you can judge people and say, hey, you're crazy because you see this, or you're crazy because you hear this, or you believe you've heard this, you believe you've seen this, and in reality, they very well could be. So, sometimes interesting. I think with religion and stuff, we really throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're like, oh, organized religion's BS, so all so God's BS, and it's like, whoa, 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 yeah. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, it's like holographic reality. We're always in this. Are we always in this rainbow? Oh man, Meta, Yarb to Yarby, stick around, bro, because towards the end of this presentation, we're doing a lightning strike survivor story. Yeah, stick around, everybody. We got 5 watching. Hit that like button. We got a great presentation here tonight. We're all over the place as usual. You guys are gonna love it. Meta says, honestly, I was attacked in my garage. First high pitch, audible pitch, then nervous system. I saw nothing. Lasted 2 to 3 minutes and followed me. Been studying ever since to figure out what I experienced. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, I heard the story of this guy who got like street mugged or whatever. And after that, he saw like a really bright light. But then he like woke up in the hospital because I guess he got hit in the head really hard, And after that, he was like some kind of super mathematician or something. That's not the guy we're covering today, but yeah, the guy we're covering later today became an accomplished pianist, like a very accomplished pianist, like a pretty short amount of time after his lightning strike. Not to spoil it, but yeah, stick around, everybody. Scott Level Realm says, what's really cool is when you see a rainbow from an airplane, it's a perfect circle. Yeah, it's like it's almost like that CD, isn't it? It's a trip, man. I'm really starting to wonder, guys, if we're just gonna, I don't know if you've seen that TV series Rick and Morty, but there's this part where they're in a video arcade and it's like a futuristic video game arcade, and they put on a helmet and it's just an entire life. You live an entire moral life, or whatever. Then you take off the helmet and when you die, the game's over, And sometimes I wonder if we're gonna croak and we're just gonna take off, and it's gonna be us waking up to a helmet being taken off us. Like, how did you like it? How was it? Did you like Earth 2.0? You want to play again? Fuck no, I don't want to play again. No. Max says, today I smelled my first fourth shot person. They smell like death. Whoa. Fourth shot person. You can hear radar radiation meta yarb. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, radiation exists. It's just the stuff I debate is all these parts of the earth they keep us out of. They're like, oh, you can't go in there; it's radioactive. That's why. Or it's like, oh, really? I hear that I sound at least once a day. Oh man, every time I try to go to sleep, if I focus hard enough, I could just hear all kinds of noise, and it's probably I don't know what it is, but I'll bet it's that Wi-Fi. I mean, it's called wireless frequency, right? It's in the freaking name. I live in Vegas and I live in an apartment, so I'm literally in a Wi-Fi soup, like 200 frequencies going all over the place. People are like, "What? How could that be unhealthy?" Oh, gee, I don't know. I can't see it; it ain't there, right? The Lily Wave. I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay. Yeah, I've seen these apps. You could check radiation levels on a smartphone. So I wonder if anyone's gone to any of these alleged high radiation places where they don't let us go to, and it's taken these, what's it called, a Geiger meter, right? I think it's called, and see if it's legit. Like, first off, if you even get near these places, it's usually fenced off if you even cross as a felony, so we can't even begin to research or see if it's legit or not. So it's all the stuff that's like, oh, take the government's word on it. I just don't. Interesting stuff though. Oh yeah, the smart meters. Yeah, I've heard about that too. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, there's one not too far from my unit. Maybe that's what I'm hearing. Shoot. Yeah. Max says, I have used this app for more than 3 years. This app is very different from what you have seen. This tracks the sources. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Check that out, guys. Right there, Electro Smart app. Yeah, if John recommends it, it's probably legit, man. That's cool. What do you mind if I ask what you use it for, bro? Like, what sources of radiation are you tracking? What's going on, man? Do some advanced paranormal research or something on the side? There is more. Meta says there is more to the story. Gets into Led Zeppelin and sex magic. Yeah, sex magic's a legit real thing. From what I have learned, nothing happened, but since that was back in the 90s, I just thought I was listening to music. Yeah. Caucasian Sasquatch in the house. Welcome, brother. Cooking my Thanksgiving turkey with 5G this year. Oh yeah, why not, man? Carefully you don't burn it, bro. Yeah, I know it sounds a little woo-woo, but I mean, it's not just like, oh, this one router, right? Sending out the signal. It's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, right? So it's like amplified. So I don't see how they're always like, oh, it's safe. Is it? Sometimes I just want to wear a tinfoil hat just in case. I used to do earthing or grounding. Make sure you have a well-grounded electrical outlet, and in the bottom socket, they sell them. You can buy them on Amazon. It's just a cord, and it connects to the grounding through your electrical socket. First, you gotta make sure your thing is properly grounded, or you're gonna get shocked. But yeah, I had an improved respiratory, and my sleep was getting better. The only reason I stopped doing it is because my kids tangled up the cord like crazy and got all wrecked up. But yeah, that's interesting stuff too. It's related to that Wi-Fi radiation or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I wonder if there's like forms of positive radiation they don't want us to know about, like Wilhelm Reich's work on orgone, the orgone accumulation chamber, things like that. Yeah, welcome everybody. Max says I can tell you how much different it is. Oh, okay, cool. It keeps an ongoing record. I track the pandemic with it. The numbers on my phone were a match for the rise in cases. Oh, interesting. Well, what is a coronal eclipse or whatever it's called happened around that time too? all this was going down, coincidentally or something. Oh, you printed it all off. Okay, cool. Thanks, brother. Good work, man. Welcome, everybody. We're gonna keep going here. Yeah, so I thought this was interesting. We got here a sine wave, pretty basic stuff, I thought it was interesting because, like, we're told we're born into sin, right? So it's like, to be born into sin is like to be born into a body, right? Like, well, you can't really be in your body without your consciousness. When your consciousness is in your body, it's a wave, If you don't get what I mean, well, check this out, right? Like, when this stops moving through you, the consciousness that moves through your body that is you is gone. You are dead, right? So that was interesting. Like, born in sin, right? You can't live without a body, at least in this realm, as far as I know. What do you guys think? Max says, when I was young, popular science said we were going to make us happier with the energy from cell towers. Oh, well, kind of. How's that going, huh? Scott says, the sun is positive radiation as long as you don't overdo it. Yeah, exactly, right? Otherwise you get sunburned, right? It's like we're all made of that. And even all the food you eat and stuff is just like little packets of sunlight, like captured in different filters we call trees or roots or whatever, right? Yeah, Popular Science was a magazine. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, so, your consciousness is this wave that moves through you. And if you go into a cardiac arrest, they put a shock through you and it could revive you. It really, to me, a lot of it comes down to the perspective of, does your consciousness come from your brain, or does your consciousness move through your brain? It's like, well, what do you mean by that, Mystery Schooler? Well, what I mean by that is, your radio doesn't create the signal that it's picking up on to play the song for you. It's coming from somewhere else. It's just picking up on the signal to be conveyed to you, right? I think it might be the same for your brain and your consciousness. We got Jeremiah 24:7. I will give them a heart to know me, for I am the Lord, and they will be my people, and I will be their God, for they will return to me with their whole heart. And see, guys, you can't really die without this sine wave leaving you. So, see, return to me with their whole heart. You literally can't return without it. You have to return with all of it. You can even be dead for a little while and they shock you and you come back. I mean, that's how serious it is about returning with your whole heart. And how interesting, in other mythologies, Egyptian mythology, they weigh your heart on a scale versus a feather. So over here in Abrahamic religion, we got reference to the heart being weighed as well, or returning to the Father with your whole heart intact. After someone suffers sudden cardiac arrest, healthcare providers grab the paddles and deliver an electric shock to the patient to help restore a normal heart rhythm. What you up to, Caucasian Sasquatch? I don't know what's going on, man, in the chat. Scott says, Max, the children are like, what's a magazine? Yeah, what is that, man? What, do I download it or what? Do I gotta scan it? Do I scan my forehead and I can watch it? What is it? What is it, man? What is this magazine zine you speak of? I'm gonna be honest, it's been a long ass time since I read a magazine. All right, so now you guys are getting a little understanding of the electromagnetic scale. Maybe you're ready for the chromatic scale. That's just more representation of sound. Now, who wants to be in charge of the numbers today? Today's number is 12. Who wants to be in charge of the coincidence pile today? We got 12 zodiac signs. We got 12 notes on the chromatic pitches on chromatic scale. We got 12 disciples of Christ. We got the 12 hours in the day. It's going to keep going, guys. We got the color wheel. The color wheel, which makes the images on your TV screen really, really beautiful images in 4K images, things like that. It uses that same color wheel, 12. It's 12. Or are you talking about red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, mixed rainbow? Yeah, that's debatable too, because indigo and violet are like the same color, so that's like just like a kid's thing, you know. So over here we got 3 different types of colors. We got, and this is exactly how the zodiac works, guys. There are 3 different types of colors. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. The secondary colors are green, orange, and purple. And the tertiary colors are yellow, orange, red, purple, blue, green, and yellow, green. These are the 12 colors that typically appear on a color wheel. That's just how it works, guys. When we're trying to create images of our reality around us via the TV, with much success, right? Look how awesome those images are on those 4K TVs and stuff. Oh my goodness. And it uses this too. Oh yeah, 12 in the foot. I like that. Okay, there you go. Oh, is that right? The 12 gates of the sun and the moon. Okay, I did not even know that. Fascinating. Enoch's gates. Oh, that sounds really interesting. What's that about? I've read Book of Enoch. I must have missed that bit. Enoch's gates. I have a passage later we're going to go over from the Book of Enoch when he goes up to the crystal firmament above. We're going to talk about how, in my opinion, he's describing an electric event. There's an electric occurrence before him. Piezoelectric. Yeah, and you know, it's significant, the numerology, isn't it, Max? All zodiacs work the same no matter what planet. There are 12 fields of energy, 6 positive, 6 negative. Interesting. Yeah, I know in Norse mythology, there's lots of realms too. There's Muspelheim, the realm of fire. It's like one of the oldest primordial realms. I think it might even be the first. There's Asgard. It's where the home of the gods. That would be like the Norse Olympus or the Greek Olympus. Got Midgard. That's our realm. It's the middle. It's Earth. We got what is it called? We got Hell with one L. It's Hades in Greek. Yeah, even in another solar system, there it would be 12. Interesting. Yeah, I played this video game recently called God of War 2018, but they have like a building that moves around, but it's basically like dimensional travel without actually moving. And they explain that because the realms exist all simultaneously on top of each other, it's just a different plane of existence or something like that. And I thought that was interesting. Like, do these realms exist on top of each other? And like, is it only the visible spectrum that keeps us apart? Like, could there literally be an invisible kingdom that just exists outside of our visible range? That, I mean, literally like the buildings outside our visible range, like the bricks. You get what I'm saying? Like hidden kingdoms. It kind of shows that stuff too in pop fiction a lot. You know, Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now, Scott. Yeah, I got you, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the path of the sun and moon. They move through gates. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever seen this. This is the Last Supper. I always thought it was just an interesting painting of Christ and the disciples, but I never realized that this is actually the zodiac we're looking at here. They're actually doing each of the hand signals for the corresponding zodiac as well. And look at that, even Virgo right there is Mary, the only female in the zodiac. What is that, man? This is crazy. Did you guys know this? Meta Yarb 2 says 13 zodiacs now focused. Consider some time, which is the 10th month, so muckety muckers. Yeah, I never really understood. So I've had people try and explain it to me before, but I never understood the 13th zodiac thing because to me it's like the circle divides perfectly in 12, right? Like what is with the 13th thing? Is it like the continuation of the spiral or something? It's interesting. Oh yeah. Yeah, in Norse mythology, hell is cold. What is with that, huh? Yeah, Sheol. Yeah, Sheol is the waiting place for souls. Yeah. Yeah, hell's more of a well, they do have hell in Norse mythology, but it's more consistent with Sheol. Hey, Morgan, welcome, brother. Good to see you, man. Everybody say hi to Morgan. Make sure to check out Morgan's channel. He's live. Shoot, at least 3 or 4 times a week. He plays guitar. It's just a chill out dude. Welcome, Morgan. Chrissy says the 12 zodiacs are also the archangels. Yeah, we're gonna go over that a little more later too. That's a good observation. Thanks, Truth Loops. And Max says, I do not believe the energy would work out that way. You would end up with 2 of the same fields beside each other comes from. Yeah, I think the 12 works out perfectly, and that's what it's always been, right? Oh, cool. Max has a chart with all the zodiacal chart with all the archangels on it. Well, I'd like to see that. That's something I want to hang up on my wall. All right, we got Truth Loops in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. We're just covering some zodiac, electromagnetic spectrum, the color wheel, the chromatic scale. Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, I forgot who it was who was in our chat a few weeks ago. They were telling me about the 13 Zodiac. It's some kind of way of reading it to where otherwise your stuff is not correct or something, but I couldn't get the details and information. There was some key word I totally forgot. Anyways, yeah, I'm not really like a Zodiac guy too much. I like it. It's interesting, but yeah. What do you guys think? Did you guys know this painting was actually the Zodiac? This is how they trick you into heliocentrism without even realizing it. Because the sun right here, this is Helios. This is like pagan shit, but it's Abrahamic religion. Caucasian Sasquatch is going live tonight. The topic is ghosts, goblins, and interdimensional elves. Ooh, that should be good. Yeah, make sure to check that one out. Morgan says Abraham looked down at Richmond and said, I can't send Lazarus with his finger dipped in some water for you because there is a great expense fixed between where you are and where we are. Yeah, that's interesting. In the story of the Native American Turtle Island story, they talk about having to swim down a great length to get down here to Midgard. There's like a huge chasm of water separating us, and that's consistent with Abrahamic, with Genesis. The waters above, the waters below separating. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed that. We got two more of those. I was gonna do all the zodiac signs, but it seemed a little redundant, you know. Plus, Aries is the best one, anyways. We really could just skip over the rest after that. Just kidding. I wonder what sign schooler is, huh? No, I thought this was interesting. This is from a Testament of Solomon. This is when Solomon is speaking directly to Satan, you know, Beelzebub. And, Solomon asks him, what is thy employment, Beelzebub? You know, it's like, what exactly is it that you do, right? Because apparently everything, the devil, right? He answers him, I destroy kings, I ally myself with foreign tyrants. And that reminded me a lot of the Greek and Trojan War, you know, how each side of the Greek pantheon allied with a different side of the war, almost like to create chaos, right? Beelzebub goes on to say, and my own demons I set on to men to be worshipped, in order that the latter may believe in them and be lost. See, they take advantage of the fact that we don't know outside of our realm. So they all they have to do is have some power above us or some science above us or knowledge or whatever, right? And then they can convince us they're gods, and then we're already lost. At that point, we're lost, you know? And that's like kind of that's his whole purpose. It's interesting that he's asked this, and this is exactly what he says. This is his employment. It reminded me a lot of the Greek Trojan War. So don't forget how that ended with the Greek pantheon fighting each other. And what's interesting is in the Book of Enoch, one of the archangels deals with the fallen ones by tricking them into kill each other. That sounds consistent, doesn't it? Yeah, if you guys want to read more on that, we did a whole presentation on Solomon the other day. Long one. Yeah, Testament of Solomon. Interesting read, though. Yeah, and it's where you get tricked into worshiping heliocentrism. Is where you get tricked into pagan beliefs, you know. And the Abrahamic religions also fall in those categories. We got our 12 disciples of Christ right here, and then coincidentally, right here we have our 12 Olympians, you know. Then we got the color wheel right here, which is each matched by one of these Olympians and a plane existence. And we just saw the picture of the Last Supper with Christ seen with all his disciples, all bearing a hand signal of each specific zodiac. I mean, give me a break, right? It's even going on anymore. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Does no one else see this shit, or what's going on? Energies from the stars. Yeah, exactly, man. And in the middle here, we have the Rosy Cross, the Rosicrucians. Anyone know about the Rosicrucians? I bet John does. You get extra credit if you know about the Rosicrucians. Now, here's a story from Greek mythology, and to me, this is pretty consistent that these beings are just pure energy. And when they come down here and interact with us, even if it's to have an affair or whatever, right? They're not in their true form. They're taking an image or something. In this story, one of these Greek gods, Zeus, takes his true form in front of one of his mortal lovers, and to dire consequences. I'm gonna go through it right now. Zeus's wife Hera, the goddess, discovered his affair with Semele, a mortal woman, when she later became pregnant. Appearing as an old woman, Hera befriended Semele, who confided in her that her lover was actually Zeus. Hera planted seeds of doubt in Semele's mind regarding her lover's divinity. Later, Semele asked Zeus to grant her a boon. Zeus, eager to please his beloved, promised on the river Styx to grant her anything she desired. She then demanded that Zeus reveal him in all his glory and proof of his divinity. So she wants to see his true form, guys. And Zeus, all excited, goes, I swear on the river Styx, I'll give you whatever you want, you know, trying to please his girlfriend, right? She goes, all right, prove your divinity, right? Well, Zeus pleaded no, yet she persisted, and his oath forced him to comply. Now, Zeus tried to spare her by showing her the smallest of his bolts and sparsest thunderstorm. Mortals, however, cannot look upon the gods without incinerating. Plasma, lightning, electricity, guys, beyond the dome, beyond the firmament. Consumed in lightning-ignited flame, she perished. Zeus then rescued the fetal Dionysus, and that's where Dionysus comes from, the god of wine. You know, the Nephilim offspring of wine. Yeah, she died. She burned up, man. You can't even be in their presence. It reminds me of the Book of Enoch when he goes up there. When the archangel takes Enoch up there to see the Father, he can't even look in the direction that he can't even gaze at the throne of God without, you know, the light is overwhelming. And these guys are lesser than that, obviously, but it's still too much. Right? Enoch was obviously being protected somehow. I mean, he was being escorted by an archangel, I'm sure. He wasn't in his mortal form, that's for sure. If he was standing before the kingdom of God, right, the throne of God. Yes, they are always changing their form in order to have intercourse. I need to switch back into Isabella. Hey, you're not the only one in the chat who likes to switch back and forth, man. Yeah, I can see the IP of the people in the chat, so I don't know what some people are trying to pull. I have since the start, but whatever. Scott Level Realm says, hey, Morgan. Yeah, she died. She died, Max. Dionysus' mom, per se. Hera tricked her into making Zeus reveal his true self. Scott Level, umbrella, clever. Yeah. All right, the radiation asserts that Moses that must be hidden. Yeah, this next bit is from Book of Enoch. This is when Enoch actually went up there. Yeah, tell me if this sounds electrical to you guys. This is when Enoch gets sent to heaven in a, well, he describes it as a vision, but obviously it's more than a vision. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, yeah, this is from Book of Enoch. They elevated me aloft to heaven. I proceeded until I arrived at a wall built from stones of crystal. So crystal, like quartz, like, you know, properties we use for long distance communication and stuff. You know, signals, to send signals through. The firmament is made of that. That's what I think. As above, so below. That's what's below us, isn't it? And quartz is the most common mineral in the world. A vibrating flame surrounded it, which began to strike me with terror. Into this vibrating flame I entered, and drew nigh to a spacious habitation built also with stones of crystal. I wonder why. Do you think it's because, God just likes tacky stuff, or do you think it's because it's, an integral component to the design of how this place works? I think B. Its walls, too, as well as pavement, were formed with stones of crystal, and crystal likewise was the ground. So we're talking about a crystal palace here, guys. Its roof had the appearance of agitated stars and flashes of lightning. So plasma energy's up there, man. Above the firmament, we got all that energy up there. And among them were cherubim. You know what that is, guys? Like these terrifying angels. A cherubim of fire in the sky. A flame burned around its walls, and its portal blazed with fire. Oh, so there's a portal there. Okay. When I entered into this dwelling, it was hot as fire and cold as ice. No trace of delight or of life was there. Oh, wow, okay. Terror overwhelmed me, and a fearful shaking seized me. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Meta. It's piezoelectric, totally, man. I don't know if you've seen, I think you're new to the channel. One of my previous mystery chats, we covered piezoelectricity specifically because it's so important to understand a lot of these texts in a scientific way. I'm really impressed you understand that. Good work, man. Proud of you. I'm glad people are getting it, Now, one of the greatest of all cosmic laws is that which is responsible for the formation of man as a material being. For the great aim of the mystery schools of all ages has been to reveal the workings of the law which connect man to the material and man the spiritual. That's us, guys. The connecting link between the material man and the spiritual man is the intellectual man, for the mind partakes of both the material and immaterial qualities. How true is that, guys? The aspirant for higher knowledge must develop the intellectual side of his nature and so strengthen his will that is able to concentrate all powers of his being on and in the plane he desires. Thoth from the Emerald Tablets. Notice he says plane there, guys. Interesting detail. That's how this realm used to be described. They just put a T at the end of it. Everybody bought it for some reason. Cherubim are from Cancer. That's interesting. Is the cherubim, that's the angel with the 4 heads or something? Or am I thinking of the seraphim or something? I know there's a couple different ones. There's seraphim, cherubim, whatever. The highest heat of the summer. Oh, okay. Interesting. Surprised Cancer's not a fire sign. It's not a fire sign. It's interesting. About the robes of the priests, they wear chests of all types of fine crystal. Yeah, probably for a reason. Now it's probably technology, huh? Gold, blue, and purple, scarlet, fine twine, linen, cunning work, emerald, sapphire, diamond. Yeah, beautiful stuff. The old world beats the new world every day. The architecture, the art, the technology, really. I mean, they had advanced technology back there. It doesn't faze me at all anymore, The babies of summer, interesting stuff. Okay.
No, this is getting really annoying. Stop asking me for something else. No.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Meta Yarb says Thoth said he was coming back to kick asses of those that muck with his teachings. Yep, I remember. Yeah, he was warning all the priests, all the priesthood. I think that he trained that if they mess with his teachings and betray him, which they did, that he's going to be back and he's going to be pissed. And I think that's still coming, bro. I think you're 100%. Well, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks. You're new here, right? I really appreciate you. Got some good comments. Yeah, you know, a lot of people say Thoth stuff is baloney, but I don't. I don't buy for a second that some regular dude wrote that. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. There's some really deep wisdom in those things. I don't care what anyone says. They've definitely helped me a lot. Yeah, up next, guys, we got the story of a lightning strike survivor. This is a great story. And this is just one of many examples of people either getting hit by lightning or suffering from a, brain disease or something that's supposed to kill them, right? And somehow they're rewiring them when they're getting messed up to where to have beneficial properties. Something good happen, and that's what happens in this story. Let's just jump right into it. Tony Casoria, the lightning strike survivor. In 1994, when Tony was 42 years old, he was struck by lightning near Albany, New York, while standing next to a public telephone. He had just hung up the phone and was about a foot away when a rogue bolt of lightning struck. Wow, he was only a foot away from where it struck. He recalled seeing his own body on the ground, surrounded by a bluish-white light. Tony's heart had stopped, but he was resuscitated by a woman, coincidentally an intensive care unit nurse, who was waiting to use the telephone. Tony suffered burns to his face and left foot where the electrical charge had entered and exited his body. Wow, so it went all the way from his head to his foot. So we had a full path to ground connection or whatever, right? Max says he died when he was born, so his gland's always activated. There you go. Yeah, birth is very much like death, isn't it? And vice versa. Yeah, are you talking about you're talking about Thoth still, right? Yeah, I get that too from the end of the Bible, Revelations, right? Sounds a lot like the prophecy of Thoth. It sounds really, really similar. You know, Jesus is gonna be back. He's gonna be pissed. You guys betray his teachings. He's gonna get revenge on you, right? Thoth is gonna be back. Betrays. Sounds very similar, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I keep trying to tell people that the Bible is blasphemy. I guess I don't know, whatever. Several weeks after the accident, the neurological exam, including an EEG and an MRI, found nothing unusual. After a few weeks, his energy returned and he went back to work. 2 weeks later, his memory problems disappeared. His life had apparently returned to normal. Okay, so things are going good, right? Something's going on up there, though. He's feeling weird, right? There's some kind of change going on up there. He's feeling odd. You know, he went enough to the point where he went to get his EEG again, you know. Over a period of 2 or 3 days, he was struck with an insatiable desire to listen to piano music. He's got some inspiration, guys. He acquired a piano and started to teach himself to play, which I can tell you guys, I'm actually, I'm a musician myself. I can tell you it's very hard to get people to start playing. His head was flooded with music that seemed to come from nowhere. Although before his accident, he had no particular interest in music. Within 3 months of being struck by lightning, Tony spent nearly all his time playing and composing. Now, if this is where the story ended, guys, I wouldn't have wasted your time with it. But Tony here goes on to have a crazy piano career. I mean, this is like 12 years later, so you can argue, you know, that, that's plenty of time to learn, and I would agree with that. But this is interesting. Check this out, guys. Just the level of how good he got. Right. And don't forget, he was 42 when he was struck by the lightning. So that's not exactly learning age to start learning something, especially something like piano, something people do from, you know, a very young age. Tony debuted his first piano composition in Westport, Connecticut on October 12, 2007, under the direction of Polly van der Linde, who runs an international piano camp for adults and children in Old Bennington, Vermont. Tony has given recitals where he has played Chopin's Military Polonaise, Chopin's Fantaisie Impromptu, Brahms' Rhapsody, and Chopin's Scherzo. I'm sure I butchered all of that. And an earlier version of his own composition, Lightning Sonata. That's his song that he wrote, Lightning Sonata. January 29th, 2000, debuted at the Goodrich Theater in New York, presented by the Catskill Conservatory. This performance was recorded live by Granada Media UK and German National Television. Now check this part out, guys. He's also writing a book detailing the origin of his musical experience. So even he's freaked out by it. You know, he says that something happened when he got hit. He had a flow of inspiration that just couldn't be explained. And there's actually a term for this. It's called, oh, I got on the next slide, some kind of savant. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, it's almost like when you get rewired, sometimes it could do it in the correct way by accident. I don't know. My theory, my understanding of it, this is how I see it, guys. It's plasma, lightning, and all that. And plasma is consciousness, like, plasma in your blood, plasma is sperm, right? So when that hits you directly, if it doesn't kill you, sometimes it can activate things within you. I look at it more like a radio, right? The mind. It's like, now that you've picked up on the signal before, it's easier to pick up on again, where it might have been put impossible before. It's been put directly into it, right? It's almost like you got a hardwire upgrade or something. It's a trip, man. Yeah, Max says we have 12 cranial nerves as well. Oh, okay. Great, man. That's great. I wish I put that in the presentation. Nice. Yeah, bro, the 12s just keep going and going. I know, eventually it just becomes adding up things that are 12, but it's crazy with numerology and I don't know what you'd call it, mysticism and antiquity. This whole field of research, 12 just comes up repeatedly, and it seems pretty significant. I mean, I don't think our ancestors built all these megalithic structures, aligning true north with all these constellations to map it accurately just because it was fun, especially in a time when they tell us, they had a struggle for food and they couldn't read and stuff. And if they're making these megalithic structures that are aligned true north, it's just baloney, dude. But yeah, the 12s, I love it. I love it. Yep, as above, so below 100, man. Yeah, but there's actually a term for this, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Well, I forgot to mention on these slides, you see that what says wavelength range? It's 570, 590 nanometers. That's for the color yellow. That's the zodiac color for this sign. And that's the range of nanometers that it's visible in. I'm trying to get you guys to understand. This is zodiac is the electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum. Oh, we got some Geminis in the house. Let's go. We'll keep an eye on you. Yeah. So back to that story from a little earlier, guys. There is a term for people like Tony and others that have, suffered near-death experience and have acquired, I don't want to say supernatural powers, but, inspiration that seems to come from nowhere. And I thought that was interesting because, they used to experiment with shocking people and stuff, electroshock therapy. And what they used to do was like barbaric because, like, I think if this field was to be applied properly, by the time you feel an electric shock, that's already way too much energy, for healing. So what they used to do to people back in the day, that was just basically torture. But what I'm saying is there might be a legit way for electroshock therapy, things like that, to be applied. Yeah, so the term is acquired savant. This describes a person who exhibits savant skills after a serious brain or central nervous system injury. From one moment they are themselves, the next they have acquired a skill or talent that defies explanation. Well, what do you guys think? You guys think our consciousness comes from our mind or moves through our mind? In my opinion, it's B, but I'm not going to claim it's how it is or whatever, but that's how I see it. That's why when the hardware gets messed up a little bit, it picks up on different signals, right? Your hardware's been adjusted. The radio got messed up. It's picking up on a different signal than it's supposed to, than it usually does. There have been examples of people, speaking different languages. It usually fades away after, but yeah, waking up from strokes and speaking different languages and things like that. Interesting stuff. Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Max. Max Vision says the Chinese are said to be trying to use the soul as an energy source. Now, that sounds, at first it might sound like, what? But when you really think about it, did you know you burn calories when you study and things like that? And when you learn, you burn a lot more calories than sitting and watching TV, for example. Like, actually using your mind burns a lot more energy and uses more energy than not using your mind. So is it so far-fetched to try to use consciousness as an energy source? I mean, obviously it is, right? It's burning calories faster. It's just processing. Yeah, I figured you meant retain, brother. I got you. I think both we retain the energies. Mostly the memories can be stored in many different ways. Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of what we were covering a few weeks ago with piezoelectric, and how we store information on quartz, right? And we find, well, I don't know how legit they are, but they say they find crystal skulls all over the world. So I wonder if there's anything to do with that. Now, some are apt, me included, to credit divine intervention, or at least, that consciousness was manipulated or altered somehow in this, for savant status. Scientists, on the other hand, are left scratching their heads to come up with a logical explanation. Trying to quantify the unquantifiable. Counting beads of sand on the beach. All right, sorry about that, folks. We got a tantrum live here. In any case, it is impossible to deny the newfound talents of these people who have acquired such gifts nearly instantaneously. Now, we only covered one example in this video, but there is more, guys. I just didn't feel like making it. They have pushed past not only what most people would deem to be prodigal. Yeah, just to give you guys, just off the top of my head, a couple other stories I read. There's this one dude who claims he got hit by lightning, and ever since he can't get cold. I mean, I'm sure he can freeze to death, but he walks around in Arctic temperatures and shit, in his underwear and stuff. He's just like, nah, no issue. So I don't know. He could just be a lying jerk, but I don't think I can pull that off. Just saying. A sudden brain image can unlock or perhaps create a sudden talent or skill. I thought Max Vision would think this was interesting because his channel is kind of about astral projection a little bit, and I think this ties 100% into that. A sudden brain image can unlock or perhaps create a sudden talent or skill. At this point, all else is speculation, but if we were to take a broader approach to this, perhaps a new picture would arise. For example, if we regard the brain as more of a receiver of information, similar to the way a radio receives waves that are existent and invisible to the senses, then we may understand that an altered brain